Hello, this is Yara here. Today we're going to be talking about some interesting either cards or decks to look out for in Legacy of Destruction. We are less than a month away from Legacy of Destruction to come out, and more than likely we're going to see a ban list before then, so it's better to invest on decks that are going to come out on that set because they're pretty safe from the ban list, right? Because Konami is going to want to sell that set, so they're not going to touch it. More than likely not going to touch anything that will impact the sales of that set. So these are the best investments of your money, right? So yeah, let's get started. So right off the bat, we're going to be talking about Tenpai Dragon. Tenpai Dragon is one of the few decks in my recent memory that want to go second. Like, they win the die roll, they want to go second. Their main gimmick is to OTK you. They can put out more than 30k damage during the battle phase, and they do that by either attacking multiple times, attacking directly. The field spell is insane because it makes it so that your Tenpai monsters are basically unaffected during the main phase, so it's kind of like a Miscellaneousaurus but for Tenpai Dragon. It's pretty insane, honestly. So Tenpai Dragon is one of the few decks that wants to go second, right? And it's way better than Mech Knights, right? Way better than Mech Knights, right? So because they don't brick, they're not Brick City. So Tenpai Dragons are one of those decks to look out for. You might be wondering, well, if they want a blind second, then wouldn't you want to make them go first? Well, they already thought about that in the OCG, and that's why they're running cards like Heatwave. That says at the start of the main phase, neither player can normal or special summon effect monsters until your next draw phase. So they activate this. They can't die if they activate this when they go first. Then they OTK you once it finally comes back to them. So that's a couple of ways that they are able to play around you making them go first. They have a couple of other ways to play around that as well. So Tenpai Dragons is one of those decks that if you're planning to go to the to Nats or regionals, like either next month or at the end of this month, to study them and see what they do, because their effects are pretty crazy. So battle phase effects. So now we're talking about the Raika. Raika monsters are pretty insane because they synergize a lot with, Sonavilon, Rika. So one card combos as well, but they have some insane, like the continuous spells is pretty insane, and now they have a lot of extra link monsters. So I don't know if Raika itself is gonna be a deck, but it's definitely gonna have some synergy with either like Sonavilon, Rika, and other like plant decks. So Rika is just a one card combo. Sure, the two other cards got limited, but Konami is kind of like compensating by giving them an extra support. So now they're gonna have even more one card combos. So I may want to study Raika if you like plants, or if you plan to go to a big event. Study what Raika does, because you're gonna be facing a Raika player. So that's one deck to look out for, or engine to look out for. Next, we have Diabelzi of the Original Sin. If you haven't read this card, then that's good for you, because this card is Anti-Spell Fragrance on legs, right? And you might be wondering, why do I have Mirror Sword Knight next to it? It's because this is more than likely going to get played on Illusion decks. So Mirror Sword Knight is kind of like the face of Illusion type decks at the moment. So definitely going to be playing in Chimera, right? Because it's going to be searchable. If you haven't read it, it says, see, your opponent cannot activate spells or trap cards that were not set. So you might be wondering, why does this matter at all? Well, you're gonna be anti-imperm proof, right? You're gonna be anti evenly match proof. You're gonna be anti-runic, right? Runic just single-handedly kills runics because they can't activate the spells or traps if they were not set, right? And if you set a quick play, then you can't activate it that turn. So this one card to look out for. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's not that good, but having a searchable anti-spell fragrance sounds pretty good to me. That you can't imperm, yeah, sounds pretty good to me. So definitely gonna want to look out for the Illusion or Diabelzi of the Original Sins. Another deck that to look out for is Yubel. Yubel right now is pretty insane because it's the best super poly deck, because their fusion is insane. But in the upcoming set, it's gonna get even more support. It's gonna get a fusion that you can summon it by shuffling cards from field or graveyard or into the extra deck. So you're gonna be able to shuffle this. Well, actually, you don't have to shuffle them into the extra deck, but by shuffling cards, you're able to special summon this. And what this does is, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can tribute this card. That effect becomes your opponent destroys one Yubel monster from their hand, deck, or graveyard. So we all know how destroying a Yubel monster synergizes with the deck. So those type of effects that change an effect, they're pretty good. So now you have lines to play around, Nibiru and stuff like that. So yeah, this card is pretty insane. Phantom Yubel, they're gonna get a field spell as well that's able to search their monsters. So Yubel right now is pretty insane. If you haven't read the cards, I would suggest reading those, because I myself have lost against them because I didn't read the cards. I went into the battle phase, and one of their cards says you have to attack if you're able to. So and then you just kind of, if you're gonna attack, they don't die by battle, you take the damage. Sometimes you take double damage. So the deck is already pretty annoying to face. Super Poly, main deck, searchable Super Poly. Yeah, Yubel is definitely a deck you want to look out for. Another deck that you want to look out for is Gold Pride. Gold Pride is one of my sort of like pet decks, where I played it a lot but never actually like purchased the deck, or I only played it online, never actually purchased the deck or taken it serious, because it's kind of like a gimmicky deck that it really shines on having low life points. And in regionals, YCSs, time is a thing, and you don't really want to like be lowering your own life points. So, but now they're gonna get another wave of support. This one's able to summon a token, plus the synchro that matches with it is able to pop multiple cards. So yeah, it's gonna get a little bit of support. This synergizes so well with the Punk engine, because Punk cards like to pay life points. Gold Price like to have low life points. So you're definitely gonna want to like find ways to synergize both of those decks. Another deck to look out for is the Goblin Bikers, right? This Goblin Biker Griel trio, I think that's how you pronounce it, makes it so now if three or more cards, if three or more XYZ materials are attached to monsters on the field, your Goblin monsters can attack directly. So it makes for some very interesting OTK lines, where even if your opponent has a lot of monsters on the field, you can just attack directly for game. So definitely gonna want to look out for Goblin Bikers. They're synergized so well with rank 3s, so you might have like some like Punk, Gold Pride, Goblin Biker decks, or a mixture between all of them. Rank 3s are pretty good in the game. So maybe even not Phantom Knights. Okay, no, pretend I didn't say that. No, I didn't mean Phantom Knights. I meant not Dangers. Okay, I am fumbling the back. I mean Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss does not synergize with this, because they will get destroyed, because this is not a Burning Abyss monster. You might see a Phantom Knight variant of this, because rank 3, right? But definitely not a Burning Abyss. But now we have Centurion. Centurion right now is a pretty insane deck. They have a lot of one-card starters, plus they can run a lot of non-engine, right? They have a lot of slots for the non-engine. They could play Bonfire as a one-card starter. So, but now they're even going to get another wave of support. And this card is pretty insane, the Centurion Arcoella, because it makes it so during the end phase, you can place one non-synchro Centurion monster from your graveyard or banishment face up on your spell and trap card zone. You might be wondering, how is that such a big deal? Well, guess what? Now you can play Shifter, because even if one of your Centurions gets banished, if you make this, you can place it in your face up spell and trap card zone from the banish pile. So before you couldn't really run Shifter. I mean, you could, but it was just it messed you up a lot. But now you can literally play Shifter, right, either on the side or on the main. So Centurion, hopefully Calamities gets banned, but as of right now, Calamities is not banned, so definitely look out for them. And lastly, we have Lightsworn. So before you say anything, I'm not talking about pure Lightsworn. I'm talking about Lightsworn, maybe like tier Lightsworn, or like some other type of deck like that. Maybe I don't know, some deck that synergizes with the graveyard. You might be seeing Lightsworn. Dragon of the Lightsworn is insane, right? It says if you have a Lightsworn monster in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card special summon, you can send one Lightsworn card from your deck to the graveyard, except Dragon of Lightsworn, right? So, and not only that, so you can send something like Wolf, or you can send whatever Lightsworn card you want from the deck to the graveyard. So it's an instant rank 4, right? But not only that, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one dragon monster with 3,000 attack, 2,600 defense from your deck to your hand. So yeah, you can basically have access to Judgment Dragon. So you're definitely gonna see Lightsworn mixed with some deck that likes the graveyard, right? Especially with Dragon of Lightsworn. This is a 3-up, in my opinion. Is so good for the deck, so good for the deck. Plus, Charge of the Light Brigade, you're gonna get multiple mills. Might even like main deck one Judgment Dragon or side deck it because now it's searchable. So, but yeah, Lightsworn definitely. I mean, you could try pure Lightsworn. Wouldn't recommend it, but you can try it. Right? You have very easy access to rank 4s now. So, but yeah, that was it. Those are the decks that I would suggest looking out for, right? Maybe just studying them, playing them once or twice just so you know what they do. But yeah, as always, guys, this was Yara here, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.